yesterday, and he was saying, look, what it might seem to the rest of the world is that, you know, Kimi's obviously the hot favourite and everyone's supporting him within the team, but actually I'm getting just as much support behind the scenes from Toto. How do you manage two drivers this way? I mean, you've got a bit of experience.
I always try to be super balanced. Alain Prost once told me at the beginning of my time in Mercedes, I asked him what went wrong between Senna and you, and he said that the team was never transparent. We never knew who is the love child, and I try to do the opposite. Pressure when pressure is necessary, and also the odd, you know, put your finger out of your backside. But then
lovely image.
Lovely image, yeah. And on the other side, also put my arm on. All of us put our arm around them when they need the support. And I feel that I'm happy to hear that, because none of them can say we are not giving them equal treatment, equal support, equal love, and I think it's down to everyone that to never make them feel that it's not going in that direction.
But do they require a different approach? You know, everyone responds differently to carrot and stick. Do you have to handle them differently?
Yeah, different personalities, and they handle things differently, and you know, I'm generally very impressed, because when you look at Kimi, Sunday night he wins the Monaco Grand Prix. We go to the gala. What does he do? No, there's no drinking, there's no partying. Next day he's fishing with my 9-year-old all day. Complete relaxation. He doesn't bother about the girlfriend, about nightclubs or beach clubs.
So he's not a real Formula One driver then?
Well, you know, it's the hunt thing, you know. No, I think he sets the level at the moment. And it's about marginal gains, you know, every marginal gains. And on the other side, George is in a little bit the same situation. He has his girlfriend, and they keep between themselves. And how can I say? It's just they're pushing each other so much that there is no giving up of the tiny margins.
You've got to do what works for you, right?
Yeah, but I have a tough one.
I think Kimi's closer in age to your son than he is to you, in fairness.
Yeah, it's true. 9 to 19, yeah, it's pretty close here. It's pretty close here.
Tough question here. The goal is to be world champion, obviously, with either driver. But if you with Kimi, you rewrite the history books with the youngest driver ever. Does that weigh in the balance a little bit?
Whatever is the outcome, we're happy with that. I mean, if Kimi does it, it's unbelievable. Hasn't been done before. If George does it, it's long deserved. Then Kimi's time is going to come. So we are totally open to that. May the best man win, and we're trying to keep it fair and open and transparent and lovely and pressurizing whatever is needed.
Good luck with that, good luck.
Nice, happy family.
It is a 10-year anniversary from that infamous crash between two of your drivers in 2016. What kind of race can we expect tomorrow? Hopefully not that kind of drama.
Well, yeah, you know, when Leclerc went out on the exit of that corner, I said, I know that corner. That was when they collided. Now, they're both starting on the clean side of the track. That means we're going to see a slipstream. If they both leave. So we're having, again, a situation. But it's about conditioning them in the right way tomorrow morning, making sure that we're collecting the points, and then it's going to be a tough race.
And a quick word on Lewis and his qualifying performance today. Are you secretly still quite proud of him?
Yeah, my old friend, you know, when people doubted whether I still had the speed, I've always said, if he's in the right frame of mind and the car suits him, then he's to be reckoned with. He's to be, you know, you need to count him in, and that's what he did today. If there isn't this tiny mistake at the end, he's a tenth and a half quicker than us.
Any more tough questions from you, sir?
Yeah, the fact that you have a Ferrari in between you and that gap, do you think that a no slow, well, your start seems to be good now, but could that be an issue in this race? Or the way the track is on tires and tough, you definitely have the advantage anyway?
Yeah, I think it's going to play out in tire degradation, and we've been quite good in the long run yesterday. But it all depends on the start. You know, if Lewis is ahead after the start, that's going to be a tough one for everyone. So I'm really curious to see how that pans out.
And so are we.
If I can put myself already after lap 1, and that is the nicer feeling.
I hope you get some sleep tonight. Thank you very much for your time today. Okay, right, let's head over to the Sky Pad. Karuna's there.
Thank you very much, Natalie. We heard Toto just talking about the last sector there for Lewis Hamilton, costing him. So let's take a look and see if we can find where that is. So on the left is George Russell, on the right Lewis Hamilton. The first all-British front row here in Barcelona, by the way, for the 36th time that we've been here. Now, let's take a look first at turn one. Slight differences in the line here. See, George gets a bit more on that inside curb. Lewis slightly wide there, and that compromises the line. It tightens up the line for turn two, and that has a knock-on effect for turn three as well. So as we come out of this, we'll use there's some lines on the left-hand side to sneak up to the 100-meter board. And you can see George is slightly ahead, and that came from just that slight difference of the apex of turn one having the knock-on effect. Through turns 4 and 5, though, the Ferrari has got better grip. We've heard all season long other teams talking about how good the Ferrari chassis is, how much downforce they've got. Just look at turn 5. Lewis carries a bit more speed, slightly wider line, but the car's front end rotates and allows him to pull some back. So when we just look here at that exit curb, he's now ahead. So from being slightly behind in just those two corners, Hamilton and the Ferrari are now ahead. And in fact, as we get through 7, he just carries more speed in, more speed through the apex, and comes out of it ahead as well. So you get to the top of the hill at turn 9, and I'll just use that curb on the exit. You can see Lewis is quite a bit ahead here of where George Russell is to that line. And this is what Toto was talking about. In the first two sectors, it is advantage Lewis Hamilton. But it's at turn 10 where it goes wrong for him. So just looking at the line, Lewis has already deviated away from that. He's turned in at a shallower angle than George Russell. George has chosen to go straighter for longer and then turn in later. And that has worked out well for him, because watch, as Lewis goes in, it's a bit like I was showing earlier with Charles Leclerc turn 4. Turning in earlier sets you off on a different trajectory, and he just has to carry this understeer. So now he's having to wait. George has managed to rotate the car. Lewis has now gone out wider, but going in earlier, he's gone out wider. He's on the dirtier part of the track. Watch his hands there, and he gets a big snap, and that has cost him. So that's A, cost him time through that corner. B, it's cost him tire temperature as well, because he's just been sliding around a bit more. But the Ferrari is still good in that final, the long right-hander at 12. And you can see just using, tell you what, that red curb, he's a smidge ahead. He's still hanging on a smidge ahead. But I want you to listen in to the throttle. We'll try and boost the sound and just listen in to the throttle. I'm going to play them one by one for the final corner here. So they're flat through 13, and just listen in. And I'll go back and show you George. So Lewis, a bigger lift. That's what we're listening for, is a bigger lift of throttle. George was absolutely stellar through the final corner. Just listen to how little he lifts. And even an upshift just on the exit of the corner, driving up to the line. And that was really where George managed to pull some back. So the mistake at turn 10 for Lewis, and then George's run through the final corner, that's all it was. But 64 thousandths of a second. A fantastic lap from both of those drivers, Natalie. Back to you.
Thank you, Karun. It really was. I mean, Lewis has just got a spring back in his step, hasn't he? It's his first front row start for Ferrari. Did it surprise you?
Well, we've seen him very aggressive early in the season. It looked like he was having fun with this car. He's having fun with his engineer, and that means he can work on the setup. He can get it better. He can make the car his. And you know, it shows. It's all in the head. When you're feeling good, when you believe you can, you end up doing. And that's working for him. And we see his teammate is getting more and more flustered. He's starting to wonder, change his brakes, and it's not working out.
Yeah, Lewis on track, a stark contrast to his teammate, because Charles Leclerc had a crash on the exit of turn 4, and that means that he's qualified down in P10 as opposed to Hamilton starting the race from P2, and he has of course had 2 consecutive P2 finishes. But let's have a look at that crash from Charles Leclerc, because it did impact both McLaren drivers. We did expect more from them today. And we will hopefully see this now. Here it is. So, yeah, difficult time for Charles. Is that just about driver error?
Yeah, driver error, a silly mistake, because once he got sideways, he was a little bit wider. He should have backed off. Okay, that lap is done, abort. It was never going to come back.
And a forlorn-looking Charles Leclerc there. It's disappointing, particularly after crashing out with a brake issue and obviously the deteriorating tarmac in Monaco.
Well, the internal battle between the drivers is super strong at Ferrari. They really take a Charles reacts strongly to it. And have two races now, and Lewis is ahead of him in the championship, second in the championship here again, and we can see how that kind of stress is affecting Leclerc in his driving. Yeah,
well, tomorrow is another day, of course. Okay, today, though, certainly does belong to George Russell, because it is his 10th career pole, and he did it in style. He'll start at the very front, sharing the front row alongside his old teammate Lewis Hamilton, and we'll react more after the break.
What?
Don't brush it off, Mia. Have you tried this?
Get up to 8 hours heat relief with new Volta Heat Pain Relief Patches. New from the makers of Voltaren.
It's Super Cheap Auto's big brand sale. Save 20% on Raptor spray paints or save 25% on Turtlewax car detailing chemicals and accessories. Make it super. Super Cheap Auto.
You got this.
One more. Nearly there.
Packed with 35 grams of protein to get up and go.
Every day, Spark stops millions of online threats from reaching their customers. Join the network working hard to keep you safe.
Shop amazing deals at Farmer's Nursery Sale. There's 50% off this booster seat, now $124. And the Zoomy Vogue stroller, now $249. Tommy Tippy is now half price, plus enjoy up to 40% off infants' clothing. Farmer's Nursery Sale on now.
You know, we haven't been formally introduced.
I know it's pretty colorful, but that's just so everyone knows we're good.
Total. Colgate's best active prevention system is 15 times more effective at fighting a key root cause of many oral care issues. Helps prevent oral care issues before they start.
At Clinicians, we're experts in immune system health for winter. Our herbal bronchial syrup with key respiratory herbs supports the airways, from the throat to lung. Clinicians, science you can feel. Available at leading pharmacies, health stores and at clinicians.co.nz.
Warm up winter with Farmer's Fashion with $99 coats by Whistle, Zest, Studio Curve and more. $69 men's North-South Merino. Women's North-South Merino from $59 plus $20 kids fleece by McAnally. Winter warmers on now at Farmer's.
For our team, ambulance stations are a place to reset, restock and recharge. We need your help to build 10 new ones. So we're ready to respond around Aotearoa. Please give generously to help us light the way.
Roaming fees abroad can be insane. So I tested the Sailor eSIM app and saved on roaming. Grabbed a plan for a few bucks and connected instantly.
It's the most insane place. I gotta show it to you.
Stayed online through every adventure. At some point, gigabytes ran out. Thanks to Sailor, I topped up in seconds. In my opinion, Sailor deserves 5 stars. Download the Sailor eSIM app for free.
A brand new season of Shetland. Tuesdays on Vibe.
New Zealand's greatest sporting minds.
I've got them, but you guys just keep buzzing them too early.
Were unavailable. So we got these guys instead.
Yes!
sport doesn't get any better than this. It does, actually.
Game of Two Halves, every Wednesday, Sky Sport.
Welcome back to Barcelona, where McLaren had hoped and expected a bit more from qualifying today. P4 and P7 for Norris and Piastri, respectively. Let's hear from both of their drivers now.
Lando, P4 very close to P3. I mean, some people were talking about the McLarens fighting for pole today, but does that represent? Well, they were, but that represents progress, I think, does it not today?
Well, I don't know if it's progress. It's just we're back to where we were pre-Monaco and, well, just pre-Monaco. I think everyone got pretty downbeat after Monaco because it was such a shocker of a weekend. We just returned back to the form we had in Montreal. They qualified P3 there, so, you know, I think we've taken steps forward. We brought some little parts that seem to have helped fractionally, and at the minute, fractions of a second can make a difference. So I think we're happy. We took a step forward. We're happy to be back on track, but it's not like the car was beautiful out there. So, you know, we take it as a team. I think it's nice that we could bounce back after a disappointing weekend, but we're still 3.5 tenths off a pole, and that's a big amount. So happy, but not happy enough.
Yeah, I think it was at the last corner when the red flag came out on you. That was annoying. But listen, the race looks like it'll be an attritional one. Keeping the tyres in good shape's a key thing. Can the McLaren do that? Can you fight with George and Lewis ahead and fight for the win?
No. Our 3.5 tenths off. Around this track, you just need grip, you need a good rear, and this is something we don't have today, so very unlikely.
Thank you. Well, Oscar, how do you assess that ultimately? As a team, you're pretty close, I suppose, to Mercedes. Did you leave anything out there yourself today, did you feel?
I was a bit surprised I lost so much time in the final sector, to be honest. I need to look at where I lost it, because I went into the final sector on a good lap and came out of it not that much quicker than my lap before, so that was a bit of a surprise for me. So yeah, I'll have a look, but it's obviously very, very tight. We don't have the pace to match Mercedes. I think even Ferrari have looked very strong today, and I think that'll bode well for them in the race tomorrow. So let's see what we can do.
How attritional will the Grand Prix be? We're thinking minimum 2 stops, and who can look after the tyres best might be able to have performance at the end?
Yeah, definitely. Tyre life is always an important thing around here, and that's not changed with these cars. So there'll definitely be a fair few pit stops happening tomorrow, I would imagine, and hopefully we can use that to get ourselves a bit further up.
Thank you.
Well, Andrea, talk us through that from McLaren's point of view, if you will. You've been strong, the car's been strong all weekend. Maybe being quickest in qualifying might not get you the best race result, given the tyre degradation that we've seen this weekend, but were you surprised? Did you think maybe you'd be a bit further up?
Well, so far, definitely a more competitive weekend compared to what we had in Monaco. First point, in practice we have shown decent performance, I would say, but we knew that Mercedes, they were sandbagging a little bit. They don't need to use their whole strength in practice. Today in qualifying we saw that we are back in a situation where 4 teams are very close. There's not much, I think, 1/10 of a second between P3 and P7. We've been a bit unlucky with Lando. The first lap in Q3 he was